I'm going to start off with a little bit of a tour of what goes on behind me. Each little piece, there's a story to. And then after that, we're going to make some coffee because I need to start my day with coffee. I'm going to break down all of the stuff in my background so you can know what's going on here. This here is my Governor General Award for my PhD, which I'm super excited about, of course. I'm just going to open it up, and so you can take a look at it right there. Pretty cool. The Governor General's Award is awarded to sort of the top PhD thesis in any given year. At the top here, this Nature paper, this was actually the first Nature paper that I published in my PhD. And on the wall, at the bottom here, this is the last paper I published in my PhD, which is a science paper. So I like to have them on the wall here next to each other as a reminder of kind of the bookends of my graduate work. Down here, this is the sign. These are lawn signs that we're going to get today. Here, this is a ukulele that I learned and I picked up many, many years ago. Record player, we got some records at the bottom there, records over there. A nice Canadian flag, some books, some plants. Me and my fiance when we were so young and many, many, many years ago. Oh, and this is a book that I really like. It's a portrait of Canada's Parliament, and it's all pictures of Canada's Parliament. And that's my guitar that I play not often enough. Every morning I make coffee. Every morning I make coffee in this beautiful espresso machine right here. Right there. Get a nice little look at it. Yeah. The three pillars of my campaign are housing that all can afford, green jobs that leave no one behind, support for essential workers. The reason why I pick these three things is they're kind of personal to me too. First, support for essential workers. My fiance Danielle, she's a nurse. She works at Sick Kids Hospital. And many Filipino Canadians, fellow Filipino Canadians, I'm Filipino, occupy these low-paying but essential roles. So for me, it's important that we think about how we support these low-paying but essential roles, and that can be things like mental health supports for essential workers like nurses and caregivers and teachers after the pandemic, because we know we're going to need them. That can be things like quicker pathways to immigration for temporary foreign workers who are essential in feeding this country. By the way, this right here is the best smell in the world. It's so good. The second pillar of my campaign is housing affordability. I am part of a generation that wonders, are we ever going to be able to afford a home? There are tons of people out there in their middle age who have kids who are coming of age, getting into adulthood, and they're wondering, are their kids ever going to afford a home, especially in the city that they grew up in? It's difficult. In my view, a lot of it has to deal with supply side issues. The population of Canada has grown tremendously over the last few years, but the housing supply, especially in urban centers and sites, have not. And it's not just about building a bunch of condos that people can invest in and speculate on. It's actually building what's called the missing middle. The townhomes, the apartment complexes, places where people could imagine starting a life with a family. You know, one kid, two kids in a downtown or a midtown area. So we have to think about ways to support more of these housing, the missing middle. And also how to make them more sustainable and net zero. Now, let me show you this amazing espresso machine work. I wish you could smell the coffee. It's so good, so good. Green jobs that leave no one behind. I grew up in Windsor, Ontario. My dad was an auto worker. I moved to Canada when I was 5 years old from the Philippines. He lost his job in 2008 when the financial sector sort of collapsed, but more importantly, when all of the automotive sector collapsed in Windsor, and lots of the plants were shut down, and a lot of people were laid off. Lots of my friends, their parents lost their job too. So I know exactly firsthand what it's like to have an entire community dependent on one industry, and what happens when that industry fades away. I feel like that exact same thing is happening today. That thing is happening today in heavy emission industries, in places like the West, and even here. So I care about clean jobs and green jobs, not just because sustainability and net zero is good for the planet, which absolutely it is, but also because we need to think about a clean destination for these people to transition to. Those are the three pillar topics or platform topics, I should say, that I'm going to run in my campaign. I'm going to now enjoy this delicious coffee and then get started on my day. So to start my day, the first thing that I do is I read my emails, of course. I've already read a few of them, obviously. I don't want you to necessarily see all the secrets of my political campaign, but that's the first thing that I do. The second thing that I do is I check out how we're doing in terms of data. The number of hits to our website, the amount of money that we've raised so far, all of that fun stuff. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of that here online. So right here, this is our dashboard. We can see, for example, where our traffic is coming from, all the different places that they're coming from. Oh, it looks like there seems to have been a spike in organic and paid searches at some point. Interesting. That's one of the things that we're doing. I'm going to show you now quickly my website. I built the website on WordPress. There are many different website builders you can use, but I prefer using WordPress. So this is the website. That's me. That's my face. As we scroll down, I have a little video of my video announcement. I'll meet Phil. The 3 platform priorities that I spoke about earlier, our latest news. Under Meet Phil, this is what my campaign webpage looks like. It's just my story, me as a little kid. Here is me and my family at my graduation after I accomplished my PhD, which was awesome. Me and my fiance Danielle, who is just amazing and just been supporting me this entire time. So she's great. And then, of course, just a little bit more about me and whatnot. Our team is super exciting as well. The team is full of all volunteers, and there are lots of folks who have backgrounds in science and technology and all that fun stuff. So these are just a few of them. This isn't all of the team really yet. So these are all of the people who have endorsed me in my campaign. And I wanted to give a mix of people who are political from the Green Party or other parties, people who are leaders in industry, and then people who live in the riding as well. And then finally, my media and press site, which is just all the things that I've done, all the articles that I've been in, the podcasts that I host, and all of the news posts that we have as well, which is fun. So that's an overview of the website, my website. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna go pick up some more signs like that. So today we're picking up lawn signs for the campaign. So I've actually had a super busy day of back-to-back meetings, and I didn't actually eat lunch. But special guest, my fiance Danielle just got home from work, and she's making dinner right now, avocado toast. Say hi. Hi. Anyway, I just thought I would introduce you to her. She's super supportive. I should say too that when running for office, you need to make sure that you have someone who is supportive and can be your sort of mental health person, your person in your corner, because it's a lot of stressful work. And I have a couple of more meetings again for the rest of the night. What did I do today? I had a meeting with the podcast host of Filipino Fridays, which is a podcast that highlights Filipino voices based out of Vancouver. And we're going to hopefully do a podcast episode with them. I also had a meeting with a film producer to hopefully think about maybe documenting some of my journey in a documentary, maybe pitch it to CBC or something like that. So that'll be cool and fun and exciting. I had a meeting, a session with Creative Destruction Lab, which is a startup accelerator that is focused on helping science-based companies scale. it's something that I did before I ran for office, and I was committed to that program, so I wanted to make sure that I followed through with it. It is now, what time is it? It's like 5 something. It's 5 something. And for the rest of my day, what do we got? At 7 p.m., I'm going to be giving a talk at a sustainability program cohort thing that my friend Leora, who is also a co-host on a podcast that I run, is doing. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey, and that'll be fun. And then after that, at 7:30, I have a meeting with our Electoral District Association, or EDA. The Electoral District Association is, I like to describe them as kind of like the McDonald's franchise of the Green Party. EDAs are the local party riding association in all the different parties around the country. And in between elections, they're responsible for keeping party activities going, in recruiting candidates for the next election and all that fun stuff. And today we're going to have an EDA meeting as well. So yeah, a day in the life of a politician is, or I guess a wannabe politician like myself, is really all about meetings. It's always different. It's about stakeholder engagement. It's about, I was writing an op-ed earlier today to try to get my name out there a little bit more. It's about getting briefed on the policy issues of the day. I do a lot of watching the national and news, a lot of news watching now. That's kind of what it's like. So I hope that you've enjoyed today and the sign gathering and this and thanks for watching.